Friday, January 4th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. It is a bitterly cold morning across the region. We have a wind chill advisory in effect for most of the region, or at least a good chunk of the state of North Carolina, for the continued opportunity for wind chills down to 0 to 5 below at times. And of course, it's even much colder than that up into the mountains. Speaking of the mountains, look at this. Here's a peek at Banner Elk. The actual air temperature there in Banner Elk is 10 below zero. The wind chill is 27 degrees below zero. I mean, this is Arctic stuff out there. Highs yesterday were chilly, but that's going to feel warm compared to what is on the way today. There are the current actual air temperatures across the region. We do have some areas just north and west of Greensboro in the single digits. It's 1 below in Boone, 11 in Greensboro itself, 14 in Charlotte and Raleigh, 24 in the Outer Banks there at Cape Hatteras. When you add the wind into the equation, there's our wind chill values. 0 the wind chill in Greensboro, 1 in Charlotte, 19 below in Boone, 14 below in Asheville. It is a very, very cold Friday morning. Up in the mountains, again, it's even more brutal. I'll show you the actual mountain air temperatures in just a second. Look at these dew points. This is incredible. I mean, this is a true, very dry Arctic air mass. And our dew point temperatures out there, sub-zero across a good chunk of the region. That is not something that happens around here every day. That just shows you the true nature of this Arctic air mass. Now, up in the mountains, here are the actual air temperatures. 2 below in Rainbow Springs, Cherokee at 4 below. It is currently 3 below at Black Mountain. 10 below there in Banner Elk, as I showed you. 11 below in Linville. Beech Mountain at 6 below. Boone at 2 below. Blowing Rock -1. Just brutally cold out there all around the region this morning. Now, we are precipitation free here across our region. But you look down along the Gulf Coast, and look at this. This is snow and ice deep down into Texas and Louisiana, even all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico itself there near the Louisiana coast, Baton Rouge, and even some of the northwestern areas of New Orleans, seeing some wintry type of precip this morning. Around here, the clouds, they're exiting, and we're going to be looking at tons of sunshine as we go throughout the course of today. Now, that's what it looks like on Futurecast. A lot of sunshine, but it's not going to help a great deal with our temperatures today. We're going to be seeing that Arctic high building on through. Excuse me. And highs today will struggle to make it up into the mid-20s and upper 20s across most of the Piedmont. Another cold front zips in tomorrow. There'll be some more mountain snow with that, but I don't think any snow makes it out of the mountains and down toward the foothills of the Piedmont. And then another clipper just off to the north of us on Sunday. Now let's talk about next week. I'll show you some of the more detailed modeling on this in just a moment. Now this is the European solution from today, the latest run, 0Z. And it still is developing that low pressure off of the Carolina coast by Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. And it does still throw precipitation back to roughly Interstate 85, a little east of there in some instances. So again, the most recent run of the European prints out that snowfall map and with the pretty good snow event really for eastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Now yesterday's 12Z European run threw even more precipitation further to the west, and the result was a big snow event for the interior Carolinas, including Columbia, Charlotte, Greensboro, and the Triangle region. And I'll show you again some of the more detailed modeling on that coming up in just a second. I'll show you what's going on aloft. Quickly before we move on to that, there's the Appalachian Ski Mountain web camera. Very cold up there as we've been highlighting for you, but the ski conditions, they are pristine. So if you bundle up in multiple layers, well, you're not going to get much better ski conditions than what's ongoing right now. All right, so on to the more detailed modeling. This is the European upper air chart, valid today. There goes our previous disturbance exiting. Now here comes the next one. This is again, the most recent 0Z run of the European. And here comes that next piece of energy right there that tries to pop our system for Tuesday night and Wednesday. Notice it's digging pretty far west, all the way back toward Utah. You go out a little later in time. This is Wednesday, and that system is moving into our region. Now let me go back to this previous chart here. All right, That's, again, the most recent 0Z run. Let's look at the 12Z run yesterday of the European, and look, it is incredibly similar. Hard to really pinpoint any really significant differences there. All right, let's go to the next chart, and this is Wednesday early afternoon. This is the most recent European, and there's the previous run. Very subtle differences, but enough there. If you look very carefully, notice the disturbance is a little sharper here on yesterday's 12Z run. Not much, but it's very close. There's not as much trailing energy, trailing vorticity yesterday as what you have with the most recent European model solution, and those very subtle differences enough to cause the difference in the precipitation fields that you see. So let me show you what it looks like. Speaking of those precipitation fields, this is the most recent European Wednesday morning, and you see that the eastern Carolinas get in on the action, whereas the 12Z run yesterday, it was enough amplification there to throw the precipitation even all the way back toward the mountains. As far as other modeling is concerned, the GFS, nada, cold and dry, except for coastal South Carolina in a few spots. The Canadian, though, looks very similar to the recent run of the European, throwing the precipitation back to roughly I-85 or so. And again, it's all going to deal with just exactly how sharp this trough is as it moves through the area. Very, very subtle differences in the orientation of that trough, and that disturbance moving in, that vortex, will make all the difference in the world in terms of the precipitation around here. So that's something to keep an eye on for Tuesday night and Wednesday. Very quickly, taking a peek at the ensembles. This is the spaghetti chart from the European model, valid Wednesday morning. The white line there, that is the operational European. The kind of orange line there, that's the ensemble mean. And the blue lines, those are all the individual ensemble members. And really, dealing with the disturbance that's diving down from the Arctic regions like that, that's not terrible agreement at all. So the bottom line is there's going to be a disturbance there. It's just whether or not it can take on an orientation that brings precip back into our region. So that's something we'll watch. Again, I would caution, like I did yesterday on some various social media, my social media sites there, Facebook and Twitter, I cautioned to temper excitement for snow fans a bit, as there's a lot of moving pieces there, and you have to get everything just right with that incoming vorticity. Okay, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody stay warm, have a great weekend, and God bless.